Hello, and welcome back to the almost completed studio. I'm Dr. Wiggo, and today I'm going to be unboxing and setting up some more lights, but not for in here, for elsewhere in the house. I'll explain, but first, if all you really care about is to see the Molus G60, this is the regular, and this is the Molus G60 combo, which has clearly more stuff in it because the box is bigger. Then skip to the next chapter and I'll tear into this. But first I'll explain, why did I buy these? I don't need these. These are not necessary for this studio space. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, I unboxed and set up the Molus X100, which I'm using here as a fill light. Still got the small rig 120B over here as my key light. Well, if you watched all the videos that when this was announced, it was both the X100 and the G60, and the G60 were adorable, but they really weren't suitable, well, so I thought, for what I was doing, so I didn't get one. And I will link Gerald Undone's video below where he went through both the X100 and the G60. But you may not need to see it after you watch this one because I'm going to explain all this, well as I can. Now, what occurred to me as I was watching videos and everything was that these G60s might be what I was looking for elsewhere in the house. Like when I shoot Dr. Wiggo on books down the hall here in the library, these would be easier to haul around and deal with. Plus, they're adorable. And as I said in the X100 video, I really admire what Zhiyun is doing with these lights, with these new form factors and everything. So I'm supporting them. So I bought some. Let's get into it. We'll start with the standard version. Packaging's nice. So what's in the box? Kind of why you came here, maybe. Here is the actual G60 lamp instrument. I used to be a lighting guy back 50 years ago, and we called the actual fixtures instruments, and then the bulbs we called lamps. Don't know if they still do that, but that was the way in the old days. If you thought the X100 was tiny, look at this little thing. This is teeny tiny. It even has a little bracket that you can mount onto a lighting stand. And again, it will then tilt, which is, if you recall, something the X100 does not do. The screw is built into it, so there's no tilting, but this has a tilt to it. Ooh, look, a little peel. Cool. It's really quite adorable. Now, what else is in here? A little booklet. Wait, another little booklet. And the AC adapter, which is smaller. Well, because this is only 60 watt. The X100 was 100 watt, so it had a bigger adapter. And the power cord that goes with this. And the bag. If you remember with the X100, I said, and there's a bag for the AC adapter. Why would you need a bag for the AC adapter? Well, I found out why. If you recall, the cord from here to the light is not long enough to reach to the ground. So if you put this up on a light stand, the power cord is going to be dangling. Power brick is touching the floor, and this is as high as it comes. So clearly, if you hang it up on a light stand, well, now the AC adapter is hanging off about a couple of feet up in the air. Here's where the little bag comes in. And see, it even has a little hole in the bottom for you to plug it. So I can drop this in here, run this to the light, hang this little bag onto the light stand so it takes the weight off, so it's not hanging on this, pulling on this connection here. Okay, like with the X100, the power cord is touching the floor over here and then coming up and then going across about 6 feet. So it's about 10 feet, 3 meters, just like it was for the X100. Now, the other thing it comes with, and this is one of the reasons I got these, was it comes with, this is a little dome. There we go. A little dome diffuser. See, now it's locked in. There's a little tab there you can pull to undo it. But now you have a little dome diffuser. And see, I was thinking this would be fantastic for like in the library or in the laundry room or in the living room or any of the other rooms in the house where I shoot videos. So I thought, well, I'll get this for this. It also occurred to me, the X100, I'm running it on about 5%. Yeah, 5%. That's 100 watts, so if I do my math right, that would be what, 5 watts? Well, if I'm going to run it that low, I could replace it with one of these. Wait, I have 2 of these. I haven't opened the other box yet. If I use one of these as my fill light, not with this, I'll use the little tiny softbox. Well, then I'll have an X100 and one of these, so I could have, again, a key light, the X100, and a fill light. So basically I could use these little guys as fill lights, both up here in the studio and elsewhere in the house. What's in the big box? Well, this is like deja vu all over again, because this is kind of what it looked like when I opened the big box for the combo for the X100. And in fact, look who's here. My favorite little baby softbox. Again, which is the reason I bought this version as well as that. Because I wanted the dome, but I also wanted another one of these. Because if I'm going to use this as a fill light up here, then I'm going to want one of these. But then I can also have it, if I take the X100 to be my key light in other rooms, I can also use one of these. And then I can use the dome diffuser on my fill light. You also get in the combo pack the Bowens mount adapter. Now I did not need this because I got one with the X100, which I'm probably never going to use, but well, now I have one. So I have 3. I now have 3 of these lights from Zhiyun. I have 2 of these and 2 of these. And now we get to the other box that was in the box. It's always another box. It's our old friend, Mr. Bag. I started to mention in the X100 video that the G60 also came in a little bag, and I think that got edited out. Now what's in here? Oh, the same things that were in the little box, which is the light, the power adapter, the little bag, the dome diffuser, and the light. Now that I'm going to haul the X100 and the G60 around, see, I have bags for both of them, which will make moving them around easier. Oh, wait, but there's something else. What could it be? A teeny tiny little tripod. So you can take another peel. I should have held that by the mic. Oh, well. So you turn this down. Presto. See, we got a little tripod. So depending on where you're shooting, you can just do that. Or by the way, you can just hang this thing like off, if you're in a closet. I don't know why you'd be shooting a video in a closet, but you know, some people don't have room for a whole studio. Well, you could hang this over over the clothes rack. Pretty nifty. And then we have another one of these, another one of these, and another one of these. This is the other reason I bought 2 of these, was I wanted a second one of these little guys. Isn't that nice for storage? You just pop it in and then it'll fit into the bag, but then you just pop it out and you've got your little dome diffuser. Fantastic. So now I have 3 of these Zhiyun lights. I have 2 dome diffusers and 2 mini softboxes. So it gives me complete flexibility. So that's why I bought 2 of these. Before we continue, just let me tell you why I don't think you should buy 2 of these, or maybe even any of these. Because if you recall, the X100, the base kit was $250. Then the combo kit was $300. And then the Pro kit with everything, including this, was $350. This, the base kit, this stuff, is $200. To me, that seems a little pricey. The big kit with the bag and the Bowens mount and the mini softbox, well, that one's $250. So it seems to me, doing the math in my head, I think you'd be better off buying one of these at $250, which gets you this and this, which remember you have to pay $354 for the X100. So if you get this and this with this guy, which by the way you can use with this instead of this, so you pay $250 for this, and then you pay $250 for that one, or maybe $300 if you want another bag for carrying it around. But you don't have to pay the $350 to get this. You can pay $250, get it with this, and then of course you can share these things across. However you look at it, I think this is not the better deal. I think the X100 is a better deal. I don't know, it's your money. Do with it whatever you want. This is how I spent my money. So I'm going to plug this little guy in here. I think you can see the orange button right there. And there we go. That's 5,500 Kelvin at 20%. And that's pretty damn bright. Yo, don't look at it. But wait, we can make it a little softer. It's still bright, but it's a much softer light now. We can click this button to flip between 2,700, 5,500, 6,500. And then of course this one we can hit to go between 50, 100, 0, back to 50. And then we can turn this down. Well, let's go to 0. And let's go to 1%. Okay, now that's not much light. Now 5%, still not a lot of light, but that's 5% of 60 watts. Over here we got 5% of 100 watts. So if we take this to 6 to 9%, that should be about the same wattage that's coming out of there. I will link the Molus X100 video up here because it's all the same. It's the same electronics. It's a different shape. Now, by the way, this also has a fan. I doubt it will come on very often. Let's put on our little tiny softbox. So like with the X100, and then there's these two tabs. Can you see? And as you push them down, it'll unfurl. We're at to 10%, which should be close to the 5% from this guy. In fact, they look actually, this one looks a tiny bit brighter because, again, it should be 9% to be comparable. I'm not going to demo this again. Watch the video up here with the X100 where I play with this. Here's where I think Zhiyun really missed the boat. Because one of the things that was so cool about the X100 was that battery grip. This doesn't come with any kind of battery. You have to use this. And these are the more portable ones. So it seems like the more portable ones should be the ones with the cool battery solution rather than that one. I don't know. That's again why I'm thinking of using this, one of these, well actually this, like this one of these guys with the softbox to replace my fill light here with the X100, because then I can use the battery grip with the X100. So when I go shoot in other rooms, I'll only have to chase down a power outlet for one light, which by the way won't be this one. It'll be this one with this little guy on it. So I can have the X100 with the tiny softbox as my key light, and then this as my fill light. And only my fill light will need power because I'll have the battery. But that is the Molus G60. 60 watt COB, pretty much very similar, a lot of the same probably electronics, similar firmware to the X100. The X100 is more powerful, but more important, the X100 has that really cool battery, the battery grip. This guy, really cool little battery, USB charges, snaps onto the end. So this is why I will probably replace the X100 here in the studio, which is how I'm sneaking this into the building a YouTube studio series, because it's really not, these really aren't for the studio. Well, except now one is, because I'm gonna take this guy, replace this guy, and then I can take the X100 with the cool battery, which, yes, another battery I need to keep charged. Like, I don't have enough of those. You can run these off of like USB. In fact, you could run one off of this using a USB cable, remember, because it says in, out. However, you won't get the full wattage necessarily because it's however many watts your little charger thing will deliver. And a lot of them, Like, remember in the old days when they were like 5 watts? Well, then you'd only be able to run it on 5 watts. These days, you can generally get a lot of them are more like 35 watts, which means you can't run this at full 60 watts. That's the G60. Great little lights. I don't like that the price is so close to that, because that is actually about, and this is really what you want. So again, my advice is to get the X100 with the battery pack, which means you got to go at least to the $300 level. I love these lights. I love that Zhiyun is innovating and coming up with cool new solutions. I love how tiny these are. I mean, look at this. You pop that in and it's just tiny, and you can take that off, put it in the bag, haul it around. I'm very impressed. Zhiyun is doing some cool stuff. I think these are a little overpriced relative to those. So keep coming back. I'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.